Programs at PA CareerLink Lehigh Valley are funded in whole or in part by federal funds. Detailed information can be found at lvwib.org/Stevens-amendment.
Welcome to the Business and Industry Podcast Series, sponsored by the Workforce Board Lehigh Valley and Bosch Community Fund. This is Jenni Silfies, a student intern at the Workforce Board Lehigh Valley. I am here today with the Vice President, Workforce Strategy for NFI Industries, Jamie Anderson. NFI is a third-party supply chain solutions company that provides transportation, warehousing, and more. NFI serves customers around the world with a wide range of industries. Today we are in NFI's warehouse that distributes ocean spray products. We are on a journey to understand Lehigh Valley career pathways so we can examine our own education, training, and the Lehigh Valley's employment options. Joining us today is Ms. Anderson from NFI.
Thank you for having me.
Ms. Anderson, can you please explain to all the students listening to this podcast who you are, your background, and your career journey, and what you do at NFI Industries?
Sure. I started in the industry right out of high school. Initially, it was going to be a summer job before starting college, and I worked on a production line in a packing mod. However, once class started, I found out that the industry has a lot of flexibility around course schedules, and so I continued working within the warehouse throughout my college career, where I was trained on several different forklift pieces of equipment, cross-trained in dispatching, in the scheduling office, in IT. And then upon graduation, I promoted into an operations manager role. Did that for about 4 years, ran several different departments before making a transition into HR, where I was an HR manager with that organization for another 2 years. In 2014, I was hired by NFI Industries as the HR manager here at this facility, our first building in Lehigh Valley. Over the next 5 years, my role in HR grew as we grew our business. We added more facilities, which meant more employees to support, transitioned to a senior HR manager and then a regional HR manager supporting the entire state and Maryland. From there, right before COVID, transitioned into our talent development team to work on some creative staffing initiatives for the organization, such as college students, veterans, and individuals with disabilities. And then just recently had the opportunity to move back into the operations side of the business as the VP of Workforce Strategies supporting our distribution business. There I work with our business leaders to talk about our people strategies and how to prepare us for our continued growth.
There is a stereotype that transportation and warehousing is a male-dominated industry. As a woman with a leadership role in this industry, what career and educational pathway did you take to become the Vice President of Workforce Strategy at NFI?
While the industry has historically been a male-dominated industry. Last year, I think a study from Gartner even said upwards of 40% of the industry is now employed by women. And recently, NFI was recognized for their work in employing more women in the workforce in our industry. We were named top supply chain organization with Forbes magazine for women, and number 38 overall on the list for all industries. However, when I look back to the success in my career, there's a few things that I do contribute that to. One of them is always be in a mindset of learning. Look at any opportunities to branch out and learn a new department. If there's cross-training opportunities, raise your hand, because you never know where that's going to open up more doors. The second piece is to find your own personal network of those that you can lean on and can be your advocates as you work through different stages of your career. And as you look at that, you want to maybe find individuals that that went through a similar career path as you, or ones that maybe have the same strengths and opportunities as you, and those that have the opposite, so that they can challenge your mindset to think about things a little bit differently.
Now that we understand more about your career pathway, your job responsibilities, and the educational path you took to get to NFI, please explain what NFI Industries does.
NFI is celebrating our 90th year this year, which is a great accomplishment, especially for a family-owned organization. We provide end-to-end supply chain solutions for our customers that's very customized based off of what their needs are. We have distribution centers like the one we're sitting in here today. We have cross-dock operations, e-fulfillment, we do transportation. We work on the non-asset side of brokering transportation management. We do work with the ports as well with our transload and our drayage business. So across the country, we have over 350 locations, a little bit in Canada as well, close to 16,000 employees, about 500 tractor trailers on the road. So if you're buying something in a store or online, your product has gone through a supply chain at one point.
We talked about career pathways, which are strategic recruitment tools used throughout the U.S. and especially here in the Lehigh Valley. As students, we are very interested in learning more about career pathways at NFI. I understand that your company developed a career pathway that is on our kiosks in Lehigh Valley high schools. Can you please review some highlights of your career pathway with me?
So looking at the career pathways, one thing to note is we have several different entry points depending on your experience and skill level. So we have positions here at NFI that require little to no experience within the industry. You can come in as a material handler, like I started out my career in supply chain. If you've gone through some of the schools here in Lehigh Valley and you've taken forklift certifications, you can come in and be a forklift operator right from being hired. If you have some leadership experience, we have hourly leadership roles that are more introductory, going into supervisor and manager positions, depending on your years of experience in leadership. We have several programs designed specifically for high school students as well as college students, a great internship program if someone wants to build a career in supply chain. So a lot of different avenues that they can join NFI.
The Workforce Board showed me data that the Lehigh Valley is experiencing huge growth in transportation and warehousing, which is now the second largest employer in our region after healthcare. Would you please comment on NFI's role in this new era of transportation and warehousing?
Yes, NFI is continuing to grow just like the market here in the Lehigh Valley. We currently have across the country roughly 2,000 openings that we're looking to hire people to join our organization, and specifically in the Lehigh Valley close to 100. We continue to secure new business with new customers or grow with our current customer base. And as we take a look at that, we're looking at some new creative ways for those to work in the industry, such as hiring part-time workers or offering flexible shift schedules that'll make it much more easier for employees to work in the industry.
Thank you for that conversation. Finding the right job is important, but another important consideration when looking for a job is the work environment and company culture. Please describe your company's culture here at NFI.
Yes, so our family culture that we have here at the organization is probably the biggest thing that our employees talk about. We went through an activity about 2 years ago where we looked at our values here at the organization, and before it used to say people was one of our values. And while that still holds true, when we talk to our employees, they really talked about it's not just people, it's the fact that we're a family. And so we've reworded that value to be family. And so it's a very genuine feeling here at the organization that everyone cares about each other at that personal level. Another thing that stands out here from a culture perspective is safety. So we partner with a vendor that helps us with all of our employment engagement surveys, and they work with 160 other supply chain companies. And one of the things that when we're looking at our results compared to the others is safety is in our top 3 strengths as an organization, something that we really pride ourselves on, and something that a lot of other organizations do struggle with. So, the the family atmosphere, employees coming to work feeling like it's a safe place that they can leave and go home to their families is very important here.
As high school students, we are interested in part-time and summer jobs, as well as full-time opportunities when we graduate. Will you please describe your hiring process at NFI? And may I ask which jobs are currently open? Because I'm sure some listeners are looking for employment in warehousing and transportation right now.
So we have lots of opportunities for part-time workers that can transition into full-time schedules or promotion opportunities as they finish high school or move on to, obtain some additional certifications. We currently talk about that on a one-off basis during the interview. So if someone's looking for part-time employment, they can express that during the interview or the application process. We are currently in the process of upgrading our timekeeping and scheduling software that will allow for more flex scheduling opportunities that are all automated and app-based, which we think will be a huge perk for all of our employees, specifically those looking for part-time work. The hiring process here at NFI, the first thing would be to go to nficareers.com to fill out an application. We have a variety of roles available here in the Lehigh Valley across our 10 distribution centers and another 5 transportation terminals. We have roles such as material handlers, which require no previous experience to get your foot in the door. If you've gone through any of the forklift certifications and you're over the age of 18, you can certainly apply for a forklift operator position. And then there are also opportunities for a dispatcher or clerk position depending on your skill level. After submitting an application, one of our recruiters would reach out and have a phone conversation, or we even have the ability to text back and forth to get additional information and answer any questions. From there, you would come on site for a job interview, and if successful, all the process following that is all electronic and paperless to make it as smooth and easy of a process to get started.
Another area we are all interested in learning about is which high school and/or college classes we should take that would make us more employable at NFI.
So depending on what your desired career path looks like in supply chain, there's obviously supply chain courses that are more and more readily available out there, even in the high school programs. I know Lehigh Valley Career and Technical has a great supply chain program. A lot of the community colleges in the area are starting to have either certifications or full, 4-year programs around supply chain. So any of those obviously would be a match. But anything that, helps you become a better communicator, able to, train and develop your leadership skills will go a long way in this industry, especially if you want to elevate your career. Excel skills never, harm anything either, especially when you're looking at a ton of data that will sometimes come over from either the customer or in any of our operational processes. Being able to take a look at data, process that to kind of see trend lines is certainly helpful.
On behalf of all the students in Lehigh Valley's 17 school districts, we appreciate you taking the time to provide us with the education, training, knowledge, skills, and abilities to get us on the right career pathway track at NFI Industries. Is there any other message you have for students in high school?
So I think that the one message I would leave all students with is, when I think back to 20 years when I was in high school, I never knew about the career path opportunities available in this industry. It's certainly been mind-opening as I've continued to work in the industry. The amount of opportunities that are available and the growth. And so, if you have any interest in it whatsoever, I think it's worth exploring. I know so many people that have made the transition into this industry and are extremely happy and successful with their new career choice.
Thank you so much, Ms. Anderson. Students and graduates, if you think NFI could be the right fit for you, visit careerlinklehighvalley.org or look up PA CareerLink Lehigh Valley on your school's kiosk to learn more about NFI and their career pathway. Employers, for more information on developing career pathways with the Workforce Board Lehigh Valley, please visit careerlinklehighvalley.org NFI.org/career pathways. This ends our episode with Ms. Jamie Anderson at NFI, and remember to look for the links posted with this podcast. Thanks for listening.